really, I would argue that no other department in the world of business has as much of a ripple effect on culture and connecting their people with work happiness as human resource does.
Hello there. This is John Bernatovich, your host of the HR Like a Boss podcast. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend. I've embarked on a journey to get to know amazingly awesome HR and business professionals, and I'm trying to understand what it takes to do HR like a boss. On today's show, I am joined by Kelli Veach. Kelli is the co-founder of an amazing company. She's going to share with you about that in just a few seconds. And by the way, she's a huge fan of the HR Like a Boss podcast as a listener. So Kelli, welcome to the HR Like a Boss podcast.
Hi, John. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm very excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. So Kelli, tell us about the important work that you're doing at the company you co-founded.
Absolutely. So the company that I co-founded with my co-founder, Melanie, the name is Shaka, and we are a company culture application for HR and company leaders that are really struggling to promote and create culture in a remote environment. So we do this in a few different ways, but the ultimate goal is to promote employee engagement and employee camaraderie across departments and across different tenures. We offer different ways of doing this since we know that not every feature is going to be an employee's favorite cup of tea. So we've got a few different features. We've got randomized coffee chats, and then we've got different wellness challenges and mindfulness challenges. And then the last one is our communities feature, which allows employees to connect with like-minded individuals based on things that they enjoy doing. So like a hiking club or a booking club, things like that. So really excited for what we've got going with Shaka. And yeah.
I always ask every guest that joins our show with the very first question about what is the purpose of human resources? What say you, Kelli, about that?
Absolutely. So as I reflected on this question, to me, the purpose of HR is right within the name. It is keeping humanity in work. So keeping people at the center of decisions. And I think it's really easy to get lost in the functionality and the operations and compliance, keeping the lights on if you run your own business, deadlines, all that jazz, that we lose sight of what an organization is really doing for people. And that's providing them with a means to make a living, a means to good health and happy lives through benefits, and a means to exercise their creativity and their professional development through talent development and things like that, a means to feel safe and supported. And then lastly, just a means to socialize. I think we forget that for many that have families, the office is very much a social outlet. And without it, new ways to connect with coworkers is not necessarily work related, needs to be blocked off during the day. And so it's human resources job to really keep that at the center of things when days get busy and when different departments have different deadlines that they need to make and stuff.
So let's talk about your kind of trends that you're seeing with your customers and as you're developing your application and your service offering. What are you seeing that the trend in human resources that's making the biggest impact on your business or in your client's business?
Yeah, so I think that this is really twofold. On the one hand, I think that what we see most often is that Generation Z is here. My co-founder and I fall right in between, the millennial and Gen Z generation. We've written an ebook on Generation Z and what it is that they're looking for in cultures and what they're looking for in the workplace. At the beginning of the pandemic, trying to learn a new industry or trying to learn how to be professional and all these things can be really tough in a remote environment. So Generation Z is really thirsting for a community and a place. They're looking for mentorship. They're looking for friends within a workplace. And so allowing, from the HR side of things, allowing and providing them with tools to foster that connection and foster that mentorship within your remote culture is going to be really, really important. And then secondly, I would say a big trend that we're seeing is streamlining of different softwares and different platforms. We hear a lot from our clients that there are too many softwares. There are too many softwares for our employees to log into, too many passwords to remember. And honestly, there's an app for that also. If you have too many passwords to remember, there's an app to remember your passwords. And so I think that streamlining all of those platforms and places that employees need to log in is really important, which is why we're really trying to make Shaka the culture hub for our clients, so that there's a one-stop shop for employees to really get in there and engage with employees about things that are not necessarily work, but really trying to streamline that process for our clients as well.
How can HR model the behavior of loving what they do and the people that they serve?
So I think that as HR leaders, you can be put in some pretty tough situations, and we can be strapped really thin. We can wear a lot of different hats and, have a lot of different things asked of us. And it's not necessarily our job to be happy at work. It's not necessarily our job to make things look easy or make things, look pleasant or anything. However, but leading by example, and showing others that, you can be happy at work. Happiness at work is a choice. Really, I would argue that no other department in the world of business has as much of a ripple effect on culture and connecting their people with work happiness as human resource does. And it really starts by leading by example.
I have all guests end on the very last question. The book is called HR Like a Boss. The podcast has the same name of HR Like a Boss. So how would you describe someone that does HR like a boss?
I think 3 different things come to mind when I think about someone who does HR like a boss. Number 1, I think that they are steadfast. I think they're unmovable in the company's mission and their values. And they're also unmovable in their own character and their own judgment. But they're also, number 2, adaptable. They understand that different parts of their character need to be called up to the plate in different situations and in different roles that they play within their job. But then overall, I think that someone who HRs like a boss, they're sincere. They give their tasks their full attention. They give their tasks their best effort. And then they give their people their genuine respect, not only for the things that they do, but for the people that they are.
Kelli, thank you so much for being on today's show.
Thank you, John.
Thank you for checking out the HR Like a Boss podcast. If it resonates with you, please consider leaving a rating and review. And better yet, subscribe and share with a friend. Until next time, let's continue to aspire to do amazingly awesome HR.